What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. And in today's video, we're having a look at the brand new co-op quest this time around for the summer season part 2. And for this particular video, although I'm not completing the mission with my account, the co-op teammate that I have here, Karissa, my wife, she was actually using her phone, and I was actually controlling both accounts at the same time. So yes, this is the team that I'm going to be showing you here, this INT focus team. If you want to see the full breakdown of that team, the supports and everything, briefly check the start of the video. It's all going to be there, of course. But I've got like the other team that I'm personally using, which is this like cerebral-ish team with Uta and then the co-op captain of Nami. Due to the fact that I feel like the missions this time around are a lot more difficult to clear, just due to the fact that the 10th anniversary ship has now expired, so not every character is just immediately going to be maxed at the start of the quest. You actually kind of want to follow the guidelines of the season. On the right hand side of the screen, it shows you all the types of units that are going to be receiving buffs throughout this season of co-op. So Dex, Int, and Quick characters will be receiving stat bonuses and cooldown, as well as Strikers, Cerebrals, and Powerhouse units also receiving further buffs for cooldown and some stat bonuses as well. So this is going to be kind of important because you are not going to have as much cooldown as what you would have previously, so building around having Dex, Quick, and Int, as well as Striker, Cerebral, and Powerhouse is ideally what you want to do here. So that's what I've done with this Uta team to kind of add and kind of complement the INT fighter and shooter team, because that's exactly what this video is going to be about, dedicating it to that INT fighter and shooter squad. So it just feels like this time around there's not a lot of great teams that you can build where you can just beat the hardest content with two teams that are trying to complete the mission. Ideally, in my opinion, from experiencing this thus far, the most efficient way to get these missions done is to like build the team that you want, but you want to have your co-op partner have a team that isn't trying to fulfill any of the missions, because it's just going to be a little bit too difficult in my opinion. You should have, one person dedicated to clearing the mission, whether it be, for INT fighter shooter, Quick driven Powerhouse, or Dex Striker Cerebral, doing that mission, and then the other individual player is building a team that can hardcore counter the content at hand. That's the best way to go about it. As we've had previously over the last couple of seasons of Co-op Quest, the Gear 5 team with Roger Whitebeard, Zoro Sanji, and then, another Straw Hat focused leader, building around Gear 5 was like the best way to get through most of this content, because Gear 5 is just that freaking good. However, Psy characters, Free Spirit characters, Fighter characters don't receive cooldown. So that's going to be interesting to see how people kind of develop different teams in order to get around the content. This is the one that I developed though, using Uta, and they're running this Cerebral squad. It actually worked pretty decently. Of course, if you just encounter the wrong enemy at the final stage, you just kind of lose. Like specifically, if enemies have a lot of turns of defense up, like there's really nothing you can do about that, at least with this particular squad. But so long as, the enemy isn't focused around defense up, this team should actually be able to get around it. It doesn't have an efficient way of getting through resilience either, so that can also kind of halt this team's progress, so do keep that in mind. But as for the INT squad that we have for the other side, it is basically just running a bunch of INT fighters or shooters that have decent effects. Rob and Jinbei is going to be great, not only just for this mission with INT fighter and shooter, but also for the Dex, Cerebral, and Striker team, because, Rob and Jinbei, both being Dex and INT, and being both Fighter and Cerebral, can actually be used to fulfill two separate missions. So Robin and Jinbei continuously showing why they're one of the most valuable SugoFest exclusives in the game. And another thing is they get access to great supports, whether you want to have Bartolomeo to deal with some paralysis whenever you're inflicted with it, or whether you want to go ahead and put something like Mr. One support on there to, get around even more turns of Rainbow shield and chain boost and even more paralysis. Just there's lots of variety that you can do with Robin and Jinbei, which is one of their great benefits. And then of course we've got Katakuri, INT super type Katakuri as the main captain, as the co-op captain for the INT team, because it's an INT fighter, works well with the friend captain Luffy, and then also has the fact that it's a debuff captain, which is one of my favorites to use in co-op quest, as you can use to just get around any of the enemy's beneficial effects, like you're seeing here, to get around the barrier as well as the enemy's damage limiter as well. Also, Rayleigh, an INT fighter, works really well. Sanji's kind of cool too, because he gets around attack down, which is something you'll be inflicted with usually in co-op quest. And he also has the hunger mechanic, which is kind of nice because sometimes you'll be inflicted with hunger as well. So overall, the team worked well, but it's all about really building for the condition, and then making sure your co-op friend is an efficient team that can get through the content. But that is going to wrap it up for me, so thank you much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.